Good morning, everybody. Happy Friday, and big welcome to our. Is it going to be our very last live, Deirdre?
Our very last live.
Very last live. In other words, we do have another live coming up next Friday, but it's not going to be a really live. Do you get the idea? So listen, to this morning is going to be a nice, relaxing class, okay? Because obviously I'm at home in my own house, so it's going to be a little bit different. We're not going to give any giveaways or prizes or whatever. It's just that it'll just keep it a little bit more relaxed for us. And this morning's class is all about learning how to decorate your mantelpiece. So we want everybody to get involved. Obviously, let's do the check-in. Let's do the weather forecast. We haven't done the weather forecast in ages. So let's do the weather forecast around the whole world, okay? It's not just going to be Ireland. It's going to be around the whole world. So everybody, let's check in. How is everybody getting on? Is everybody safe and well? Has anybody any big news or scandal? I know one of our students, Kira Walsh, became a granny yesterday morning to a little baby grandson. I think his name was James. So again, if anybody has some big news or scandal that they wish to share, listen, this is the platform for it. So Deirdre, how are we getting on this morning?
Okay, so yeah, we've got a few people watching at the moment. We've no comments as of yet.
And are we on Instagram?
We're on Instagram, we're on YouTube, and we're on Facebook. Yes.
Okay, so we're across all the social medias. So listen, to build up the audience, if everybody at this particular second clicks share, okay? So click share, and that'll help to build up the audience. And the other thing is, if you know anybody, maybe out of your local flower club, or your friends or neighbours who love flowers, why don't you tag them in the comments
Or do you know, anybody that may be cocooning at home, is to let them know, because we've had so many cocooners coming in and checking in. And who's it? Mary.
School of cocooning nearly.
Mary was on earlier on.
Mary Wilson, was it?
Yeah, just to see what time we were going to be on at.
And I know my sister-in-law, Margaret Mitchell, she's in Sligo General this morning, and she's going for a big scan. So the very, very best of luck. We all have our fingers crossed for you, Margaret, so the best of luck. So anybody else, as I said, if you wish to say hello to anybody, if you wish us to say hello to anybody, just put it in the comments below. Deirdre's watching the comments, and she'll keep us posted with what's happening.
Okay, so we have Aiko in, and she's watching in from Abu Dhabi.
Welcome, Aiko.
We have
click share. We haven't had many people from Abu Dhabi.
No, Valerie is watching in from Virginia, and she says it's not a bad day in Virginia.
Not a bad day, isn't it?
It's cloudy and wet in Dublin from Liz Mulvey. There's no.
Hey Liz, how are you?
Elaine is in from Derbyshire. Don't know what the weather is like there. We've Teresa from Waterford. We have Christela Riley. She almost lost a finger yesterday.
Oh, I've seen that, Christela. Oh my God, that was a nasty cut. These florist scissors are deadly. And often when I'm doing the introduction on the beginner's class, and I do the health and safety about the scissors, like you could literally lose a finger. They are so nasty, such a cut that they can give you. They are a brilliant scissors. They cut through wires. Now I have secateurs today for cutting through the Ilex, because you need like a really strong stem for them, but they are deadly. Hopefully you're okay. It'll stop you picking your nose, Christella, if nothing else. I know she's up to her eyes doing wreath work.
Jenny Bombeni is in from...
Hey, Jenny, how are you? Jenny Bombeni is one of our past students. I absolutely love the name of our company. It's kind of one of these names that kind of sticks with you and you'll never forget it. So maybe anybody that's watching, not just Jenny, but anybody that's watching that has a Facebook page or an Instagram page, put the links in the comments below, and then later on everybody can go back and you can follow your page. And again, it's a way of kind of building up the support on your page. Are they click and share, Deirdre?
I think there's a few people click and share now. So
I want more than a few people click and share now.
Sarah is in from Manchester. She says it's shite again in Manchester, the weather.
Manchester seems to get really
yeah,
bad
see, they're nearly across the same line as us. So yeah,
they sort of get it even shiter than us.
Do they? Shiter, is that a new word?
That's a new word, yeah. I definitely think they get it shiter than us.
Okay, Joanna's on from London, and it's cloudy in London. And let me say, the morning ladies missing the yellow bloom room this morning. That's from Gail.
All our bloom rooms are closed now. Well, I don't think we've officially closed them, but they're all going to be archived for over the Christmas. Like we've had an absolutely amazing year. We have the students that we've met, and actually even like last night, Abigail, one of our students, called to the house last night to pick up a couple of things, and like it's gas. Like I remember this time last year, I met Abigail for the first time. She was picking up some of the wreath frames that we had left over at the end.
That's
of the class,
right, yes.
And she called over, probably this time last year, and I met her for the first time. And then she's gone right through the year. She's done all her 4 modules. She has set up her studio. She's completed her Christmas program. She even had a small wedding on there a little while ago, and she has a couple of weddings booked in for next year, you know that way. And it's just fantastic when you see somebody going, like, to be honest, I'd be here all morning if I was to go through all the names, and it just sticks with me, Abigail, because obviously she was here last night. So this morning's class is all about decorating your mantelpiece. So every year we always decorate my mantelpiece. It's kind of it's a double job, you know that way. It's kind of half work, and sure, it had to be done anyway. So you can see the base to start off with. What I'm using is 2 triple trays. Now if you only have single trays, they would do absolutely fine because the weight of the Oasis will hold them on your mantelpiece. So I have 2 triple trays, and you can see there I didn't completely fill them with Oasis. There's little bits of space left kind of in between them. I have them all anchor taped on, and I've added like extra bits of height. Because these are all Deirdre's. Are you taking these candles?
I am. I'm taking my candles.
I had a load of them. They're on the floor here. But none of mine had batteries in them. So Deirdre brought me down all her ones this morning. So I think I'm going to try and stick my ones in the bag when she's going home. So the battery candles are brilliant. And every other year, I actually made a bit of a cock-up, because what I normally did when I was doing the battery lights was I added the sticks onto the end of them to show you how you can insert candles into arrangements. Obviously, if they were fresh candles, or real candles, they know what I'm talking about, Deirdre. They know, they're used to it at this stage. But obviously, you couldn't turn off the lights underneath because the on and off switch. Now, I know lots of you are going to suggest about the remote control candles. I've been looking out for them, haven't come across them. So if anybody does know where you get the remote control ones, put it in the tag.
Those ones are actually, I got them in Harvey Norman, and you can set them on a timer, so in my house they come on at 4 o'clock, and then because I had to turn them on this morning, but in my house I have them set that they come on at 4 o'clock and they go off at some stage during the night. Yes, so and that's the first set of batteries I've in them, and they're up about 2 or 3 weeks now. So yeah,
I'd be grand if I hold on to these candles.
Feck off.
So as you can see, we're just literally just sitting the candles there, you know that way, not because Deirdre's going to take them back, you know that way, but it is more if you do want to switch them on and off. And obviously you're not going to put real candles into this sort of display, and you can see already the way I'm bringing the foliage up around it. Now, Deirdre had a photograph posted on the Facebook page advertising this morning's class, and with the mantelpiece, I think it was from about 2 years ago, we did it completely different, and it was all groups, you know that way, and it was lovely, it was different. But today, this year, we're in a bit of a let's go wild, let's go all out there. So today is kind of more about a wild sort of effect, that you could just go out to your garden, and what I'm using is eucalyptus. I'm using lots of eucalyptus because the scent of the eucalyptus in the house when the heating is on is absolutely amazing. Plus it lasts for ages. It doesn't shed, and that's what I love about it. You're not going to have loads of leaves kind of falling off on the floor because it'll just dry out. The other foliage I'm going to use is the silver Sussex. Now I know lots of you are having problems trying to buy silver Sussex. So again, if anybody comes across the silver Sussex in a garden centre, make sure that you post it in the comments below and let us know where people can buy it. So this morning, outside in the garden, the front garden, I just randomly cut up like the eucalyptus. Well, to be honest, all the foliage. And what I'm just going to do now is I'm just going to go along. I'm going to cut off the leaves, and I'm going to just kind of do like a random frill along the bottom. Now, when I'm doing this, Deirdre, you might maybe do a few shout-outs and let us know what's happening and what's happening.
I will indeed. Bridget Foley says Dunn's stores have the battery candles, and Christine says that Next have them, and they have the ones with the remote. I'm not sure if Dunn's have the remote one.
Brilliant. So I can go online actually and get the next ones.
And Dunn's are online for, well, next day sort of delivery.
That's it, yeah.
Yeah.
So we're on post just after putting the time back for the last postage, you know, that way. So I see Ben ordered something yesterday, a jacket, and it came in the post literally the following day, and all this talk about the delays. So you just don't know.
You just don't know. Elaine Craig says she's just popped in. She's just joined us.
Hey, Elaine, how are you?
Who else have we got? Kathleen O'Donnell, and she's watching as well.
Where's she watching from?
I don't know.
What's the weather like? No, besides Manchester being shite, no nobody else.
Well, it's wet in Killiney. Helen is watching in from Killiney, and it's wet in Killiney. No remote on the Dunn Stores candles, but they have a timer. So a bit like my ones, they have the timer on them.
That's actually a great idea, really. It's just kind of is working out then. So what, the first time you switch it on, it automatically stays at that
The first time you put it onto the timer, and I don't know actually how long it stays on. I had to throw the packages out, but we say the first time I turned them on, I turned them all on at 4 o'clock.
Yeah.
So they all come on now at 4 o'clock, and I have them all in my window in the front of the house. So they look really well. Pennies have remote control candles as well. There you go.
Oh, well, there we go. We've absolutely no excuse. I just need to get up off the arse.
Oh, Barry Smith is tuned in.
Hey, Barry, by Bridie Hall. Do I think Barry is a kind of a sneaky follower of ours?
I think he is, yeah.
I say he's logged in on his own laptop up in the bedroom. He puts Bridie downstairs watching it, and you know what I mean, he's pretending he doesn't like us.
The weather is...
He absolutely loves us.
Oh, so the west seems to be getting the good weather. Emma says it's lovely over in Mayo. Mary says that the sun is shining in Limerick. The weather is exhausphating. Whatever that means.
That's a very
Trisha Kenny, that's
for a Friday morning. Jimmy Mac and Trisha, was that a typo, or were you trying to actually say something?
It's sunny in Leixlip, it's beautiful in Galway, and it's miserable in Howth.
Right, so far what I've done there is, you see, I've brought up a couple of tall pieces there on the left-hand side, overlapping our candle. I kind of went medium, a bit smaller, and back medium again, you see, coming around. You can see along the bottom, it's short and long. There were random pieces of foliage. You see, and I had them in my hand. Like, I'm kind of not one of these, like that I pick a foliage for a spot. I have a foliage in my hand, and wherever I decide to stick it in, I stick it in. And as I came around here, on this side of the arrangement, I kind of brought it down. So it's not a Hogarth curve, but you know, it's that kind of like, say, oblong-y, kind of asymmetrical sort of arrangement. And again, coming up here, I kind of went medium, 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 and I brought a little bit of foliage behind the candle, behind the arrangement, overlapping the mirror slightly.
Mary Parr wants to know, are the candles sitting on the oasis?
Just sitting on top of it. So if you listen to you're obviously only joining us, Mary. We were talking about last year the problem of not being able to switch off the battery lights, because I had them all actually set down into it, like using the sticks. Then what happened, the batteries went flat. I didn't bother actually changing them. And then this year I'm left with a load of candles with no batteries in them. Now, I know it's just a case of going and buying new batteries. But if you've been following us the last few weeks, it has been absolutely mental here. So Deirdre brought me down all her candles this morning. And as I was just saying, she's taken them back. I only have blended them. So I do have all my own battery candles there. It's just that I have no batteries in them at the moment.
Mary McDade says, hi there, when do your new online classes start? And can you join if you're from the north?
Of course, absolutely. We have loads of students from the north. To be honest, we have students from all over the world. So I'm not sure, is Teresa from Australia tuned in? We have Carol over in Canada. I can't remember the girl that was in Italy. So we've loads and loads. I have a very small table here to work on, by the way. So we have students from all over the world. And we definitely have, we've had hundreds and hundreds of Northern Ireland students from flower shops as well as say down here in the Republic. We would have a lot of students who would come from flower shops for extra training, or maybe students who want to eventually maybe get a job in a flower shop or open up their own business eventually.
And Module 1 starts on the 13th.
13th of January is when our next Module 1 starts. And if you're living in the Republic of Ireland, obviously there's no funding for Northern Ireland, but anybody that's living in the Republic of Ireland, and if you're living in the Republic and you're working in the Republic of Ireland, you will be entitled to a 25% funding grant through NOTS. That's the National Organic Training Skill Nets. Now, there's a limited number of them funding, and they have cut back on the amount of funding towards even during the pandemic, because I think they just increased it during the pandemic, but now it's kind of like going back to reality. So there's just a limited amount of funding. I think it says 12 places per course, I'm not actually sure. So it works on a first come, first basis served. And I know Module 1 and Module 2, a lot of our past students have been booking onto them. So there is still a couple of the funded places left, but you'd want to be getting a move on.
Carol Shaw said the sun is shining in her heart, and she's up in Rathfarnham.
Hiya Carol, how are you? So again, Carol has a fabulous page on Instagram, At Home with Carol Shaw, I think it's called, isn't it? Something like that. And maybe she'll put the link up. And she does fabulous mantelpiece arrangements. And she had a gorgeous one up there recently, and I think it was silk hydrangeas. They could have been fresh hydrangeas now, but it looked like silk hydrangeas to me. looks beautiful, and she gives great ideas for arts and crafts. So absolutely, if you get a chance, pop over. I'm not sure if she is on Facebook as well. I know Carol is on Facebook, but whether her business page is on Facebook, I'm not too sure. So if you are on Facebook as well, we have more followers on Facebook than we would have on Instagram. So maybe post your
if anybody's seen us in the Independent on, what day was it? Tuesday, where they announced, where before, we say 6 months ago, we would have had a reach on Facebook of about 20,000 a month, and we're up about 450,000 a month is what is the reach we have on Facebook. So don't always go by the amount of followers somebody has on Facebook, because they could have 20 followers but have an amazing reach.
Yeah, that's kind of something, and I think that's a lot of that is kind of down to the interaction. I'm on the Silver Sussex, by the way. The interaction that we get with our students, and that's why, again, I'm going to set a quick reminder, click share. If you haven't clicked share yet, it costs you nothing, it's free. So go and click share, and then again, it helps to kind of get our name out there. Or another thing that you could do is, if you do know anybody in the flower business that's interested in flowers, or you feel, God, they'd love to learn how to do that, or they have a fine big mantelpiece, maybe they could kind of do something like this at home themselves, is go and tag them. So you can see there, I'm doing kind of something very similar. I went kind of up and I came down, and then I went a little bit along the fireplace, kind of hanging down. They're not the same length as the eucalyptus. I've randomly lent pieces here, and I'm literally just kind of sticking them in and out, a little bit kind of behind, coming up onto the mirror. The reindeer, by the way, is just sitting there as well. So I've used him. He has a sister. Is his sister or his brother? Or are they twins?
I think they're twins.
They're twins, they are. Irish twins. There's 9 months between them. But we've used them in some of our other arrangements as well. So you can see they're very, very simple. You know, they're like a mixture there of the eucalyptus and the Silver Sussex.
Mary Teresa Gordon says, hi ladies, module 1, 2 and 3 were absolutely fantastic. She'd highly recommend our courses.
Brilliant. Thanks a million. That was Mary?
Mary Gordon.
Oh, Mary Gordon. And I know she goes under another name sometimes. We have a couple of the Marys that do confuse me because they've loads of different names. It's like Barry Smith, who's not really Barry Smith.
And Barry Smith's actually up in Dublin today, saw that.
Oh,
Amanda Smart says that's going to smell amazing. The smell in here,
even at the moment, the scent is amazing. So what I have now is little bits of the Novelist. And again, I've just trimmed off the ends. So these could be branches maybe off your Christmas tree that you trimmed off from the back. My candle there just moved there a little bit, stuck that one up a bit too far. But listen, that's what happens in life. Things don't always go right. So I just have random pieces kind of cut here, and again, it's just a little bit of coverage here and there. And I'm going to actually put some fresh flowers into this arrangement, so I don't want to overdo it too much with the foliage. And I'm also going to use the Ilex berries, which I think are absolutely gorgeous, and they're a great lasting berry to put through your arrangement, especially around Christmas. Like, just on their own, they can look fabulous.
Rose Judge says this is fab, that she's going to try this herself. Now, it's so easy.
You could use stuff out, it doesn't have to be all the same material that I'm using. Personally, I would say to you, start off with eucalyptus, because it's a great one. It's so loose and light, and you get a lovely flow to the arrangement. Where sometimes to start off with just the spruce. If you're just doing it all along the front of the mantelpiece or the top of the mantelpiece, the spruce is absolutely fine. But spruce is a little bit rigid and stiff, you know, that way. Where, as I said, the eucalyptus is soft and flowy, and it's much, much nicer. So if you want to do something a little bit more wild looking like I'm doing, I would suggest start off with eucalyptus. And as I said, it's a great lasting foliage. The scent is amazing. It doesn't shed, and it just dries out. Silver Sussex, the same thing. It doesn't shed, it just dries out. The Novelist, what will happen after a while is the needles will start to fall off, because now it is in water. Obviously all that oasis is wet, and I know it's quite a lot of foam that I've used, but I've used a lot of foam because that way then I'm holding in a lot of water, so it means I don't have to keep watering the arrangement. This particular fireplace is cast iron, so you don't want water running down on it too much because it starts to get little rusty marks. Now what I have here is a mixture of holly. So I have some green holly, very little berry on it, but I'm not worried about the berry because I'm going to use the Ilex anyway. And I have little bits of variegated. So again, I'm going to bring a little bit of the holly up tall in the arrangement, and then other little bits of holly, kind of like basically a little bit of camouflage. Now what will happen with the holly is the leaves do fall off from the holly. So you'll notice I'm not going to use loads. I hate cleaning.
There's
Absolute
questions in
pet
where
peeve.
do we get the silver Sussex, or where can they get the silver Sussex?
Okay, as a mixed bunch, is it like most flower shops will
Mary
sell
Wellams,
it to
that's
you.
the girl that was actually on the phone to us earlier
Hi,
on.
Mary, how
I'd say
are
a
you?
flower shop.
Most flower shops will sell it. So what part of the country are you in? And maybe we could suggest a flower shop, or there could be actually a flower shop watching here that could maybe say to me, listen, pop in.
Over on Instagram, there's lots of flower shops watching us, I can see. So again, if you comment,
Give
if
us
you
a
are a
shout
flower
out
shop
and
and
we
you're
can call
selling
it.
it,
Tell us the area that you're in. It's no point just telling us the name of your shop. Tell us the area that you're in, and then, as I said, we can call it out, and they can go over to you. Like, I know Wayne, you know where's past.
Oh, yeah.
Wayne Backlane Blooms over in Phibsborough. He sells the foliage. You know what I mean? So you could pop over to him, and he'll sell you the foliage, no bother. Who else? Bala down in
Mayo.
Judy, her florist, she sells all the different bunches of greenery, so you could pop over to her and you could buy some off her as well. We're not a flower shop, but there is a flower shop downstairs underneath us called Case Florist Rialto. Now I know it's a little bit confusing. It's not connected to us at all, and it is actually downstairs underneath us. But for anybody that doesn't know us, that hasn't been following us, years and years and years ago, about 35, 40 years ago, our mum Kay would have started off Kay's Florist in Rialto. It has now maybe changed ownership, 3 times, 4 times?
Yeah.
In that 30 odd years. And every time they sold the business, they kept on the name Kay's Florist. So it's probably very well known, but it isn't connected to us, because I know a lot of people ring up Case Florist in Rialto and they're looking to speak to Deirdre and Janette, and honestly, we're not there. But Linda, the girl who owns the flower shop, she's absolutely gorgeous, and her daughter is called Holly, so a lovely Christmas name, and they sell the foliage as well. So you could give Linda a ring. I actually know the number off by heart, 4532 441, because I call that number out.
Samantha Clooney has eucalyptus for sale in Bloom Couture in Waterford.
Okay, so anybody in Waterford, Samantha Clooney has the foliage, and again, she could organise and she could make up maybe mixed bunches, I'm sure. So if you wanted a little bit of eucalyptus, a little bit of silver Sussex, a little bit of spruce, a little bit of holly, I'm sure Samantha, you would oblige them and you would organise that as well for them. She'd have no choice now, because I'm after telling her she'd have to do it.
Absolutely. Over on Instagram we have Coco, and she's watching us in from Florida. I'm sure it's lovely and
Coco,
sunny.
what's the weather like over your way? And hope you're all keeping nice and safe and keeping well over there.
Bernie Gallagher wants to know, who did you say in Mayo will sell the foliage?
Ballaflowers, Judy. Can't think what her surname is. So just give Judy in Ballaflowers a ring. She's a fabulous wedding florist. She often tunes in to watch us here. So give her a ring, and again, if you just say to her, listen, Janette from Case Flower School said that you'd organise a bunch of foliage. Now you'll obviously have to pay for it, obviously, you know that way. There'll be no problem at all. I know she would oblige you. You know
Zita is wanting to know, in Tyrone in Northern Ireland, do you know anyone where she could buy foliage?
Well, no, Glenda's in Armagh, she is.
Yeah.
Glenda Russell. Lavender Flowers, that's one of our students as well. Ursula is in...
she is. Love Blossoms.
Love Blossoms. So Google Love Blossoms, and she would organise that for you, because I know, like, she's doing all the wreaths and the Christmas table arrangements, so she'd organise that. And Ursula is absolutely lovely, she is. Fabulous florist, a wedding florist. Obviously, there's not a lot of weddings going on at the moment, but again, she'd oblige you. All you have to do is just use my name, and I'll look after you. There'll be no problem at all. You're not going to get it for nothing, do you know that way? The other thing is, get up off your arses and go for a nice walk. And as we would say, no robbing, foraging, or relocating it. So you're relocating it from a park into your sitting room, do you know that way? Always talk nice to the park rangers, and normally they don't mind then. It's when you start robbing it and you're cutting chunks out the trees, you know the way, they go absolutely mad. But normally if you ask permission and you say, do you mind, always stick in the words charity, the church, the scouts or the Girl Guides, the hospital, the heroes, and they look after you, there'll be no problem.
Okay, Sarah saying, she says hello, it's a lovely day in Sligo.
Hiya Sarah, how are you? County Sligo.
Carol Shaw says she's not on Facebook anymore.
All right.
Any ideas where to get it in Sligo? Feelies in Sligo?
Feelies in Sligo. Go into Michael in Feelies in Sligo. Tell him Janette from Case Flower School sent you down, and he'll definitely look after you. There's no problem there. Michael has a fantastic range of everything, to be honest, you know that way. And there's also the other flower shop in Sligo, Forget-Me-Nots. Can't think of the owner, but she has taken on a couple of our students on work placement.
Can't think of her name.
I can't actually, I know when you come out of the car park, she's somewhere on that street there, so we're not actually sure the name of the street. If somebody is watching, they might kind of tag her and they might actually put her name up for me. Sorry, I can't remember your name.
Okay, who else? Oh, Lily Rose Floral Designs is in watching us on Instagram.
She's up
Lynn,
north, isn't
she's
she?
in the north actually.
What part are you up? What part of the north are you, Lynn?
And she might come back and let us know.
Because again, we have people looking to buy foliage for doing their fireplace. Maybe you might be able to oblige them. And you know in Sligo, the girl that has Guns N' Roses.
Oh, Guns N' Roses, that's right.
Can't think what her name is. Not sure what part of Sligo it is. It's not Sligo town anyway. So again, if somebody knows Guns N' Roses, it's a brilliant name. If anybody knows the name, or sorry, the name of the owner, or
Lily Rose is in Newry.
Okay, so if there's anybody looking from Newry, Lynn from
Lily Rose.
Lily Rose, Deirdre will call it out there.
She's in Newry Drumitee, Dromitee, Drummintee in Newry. So Lynn will look after you there if you're looking for foliage. Margaret Huddleston, I grow all foliage, mentioned, selling straight from the garden. Dromo, County Down. Anyway,
put the link
up. Yeah, can't read it.
Absolutely, and we'll send people to you. And anybody that's watching, and even if you're watching at a later stage, how are we looking back there?
Looks amazing, yeah.
Looking okay?
Absolutely.
So, that but it wasn't a bad guess. Like, that's what I have left. I'm not bad at this, actually, am I? I have this amount of, I have loads more greenery now out the front. But I have this amount of greenery kind of cut up to kind of see, like, would this just about do? And I'm not far off. Like, there's a few little spaces left, but as I said, I have some fabulous roses that I want to put in, so don't want to overdo it, you know, that way. And it doesn't really need to be kind of like packed, you know, that way, really, really tight. So what I have first of all is our Ilex berries. So these are the Ilex berries. Now I would recommend, I think I have about 10 stems here, I'd recommend you to go to a florist and buy a couple of stems of these. And the longer they are, the nicer they are. Now, they are going to be more expensive, okay? You will pay big money for these, but I am telling you, you will get your money's worth. So all flower shops will sell this. So this is what one stem looks like. But if you were to buy 3 or 4 stems of this, so that's giving you an idea what 3 stems
And you will
like.
only get this in a flower shop.
Yeah, you're not going to be able to grow this or rob this, okay? You have to go and buy it. So if you go into a flower shop and you just buy 3 stems, well, just to kind of show you, like, say, 4 stems, and normally what I do in my own kitchen is I just have a big old-fashioned jug. You know them kind of cream enamel jugs? I bought it in IKEA. They have them in Dunnes as well. And just to stand that, and even with a little bit of like short little bits of foliage, anything at all, holly, spruce, eucalyptus, ivy out in your own garden. I'm not exaggerating when I say Patrick's weekend, you'll still have that standing. The berries will be after shrinking kind of, you know the way, and kind of gone a blacky red colour, but it still actually looks well and you would get away with it. Now you're not buying it, planning on it to last till Patrick's weekend, but I'm just saying it's an exceptionally good value. It's a really, really thick stem. It doesn't drink an awful lot of water. So I know myself, I'd often look and the jug would be empty. You know what I mean? I only put a couple of inches of water in the end. And next of all, it's empty. And it still looks absolutely fine. Because what happens is it eventually just dries out. So if you're looking to make a good investment over Christmas, I would say buy a couple of stems of Ilex just to stand in the vase. The heat of the house won't do it any harm. It looks absolutely gorgeous. Like, buy it now, buy it last week or the week before, and you would have got great, great value out of it. So I'm going to use a couple of stems of this.
Somebody wants to know, Janette, can you grow that?
I wouldn't think so. But
it is part of the holly family.
Yeah, so maybe if, I don't know, is James from the Irish Green Guys? He's probably out cutting all the trees, I'd say.
He probably is, yeah.
But if there is anybody watching that would have maybe some horticultural experience, maybe they could advise us. So dead seriously, I haven't got a clue. I don't know, you know that way. Now you can buy it in shorter stems. Now you can see some of the stems I'm actually cutting in half, like I'm getting 2 goes out of it, you know. But if you buy it in shorter stems, I kind of find it's not as nice. I often think with the shorter stem, it's nearly like they've cut the top part off and they then sell you that part there, where you're better off, in my opinion, by the longer stems. I think it's much, much nicer. So that's where I just kind of brought a bit around there. I'm going to go along the bottom of the fireplace. I'm going to let it trail down on the opposite side, you know that way, kind of like similar. and then I'll do a random few bits of it in and out through the arrangement. Now, it is expensive, like, you know what I mean? I'm going to turn around and say, like, you know what I mean? You're not going to get this cheap, you know what I mean?
Sure, it's Christmas.
It's Christmas. And sure, listen, you haven't been drinking. You haven't been drinking out in the pub. So any drinking you did in the house, you've got to drink cheap. You know that way? So you can afford to put a few bob into your Ilex berries, invest in it. So you can see I'm letting some of it lay down. Some of it was a bit shorter, so I just naturally, I'm not going to waste any of it. I want to try and get the best value out of this. So I'm going to use the 10 stems. Now, I know that seems quite a lot, but my mantelpiece is quite big, you know that way. And obviously, because we're doing it as a demonstration, we better not skimp on it, you know that way we better do it nice. And seeing the feckin' candles are going to be gone now, but after a while, when this camera goes off, Deirdre will take my candles back. So at least then I'll have a few nice feckin' berries in the arrangement, if nothing else.
But then you have to come up and do my mantelpiece.
Absolutely. Are we going to do that? No, we're not doing any more lives. We're finished. We're finished. We're definitely. We said the 9th of December was our cut-off point, you know that way. So we're on, what are we on now, the 10th today?
The 11th, I think,
11th
is it?
today. So, Jesus, the usual here at the school. When do you finish up? But and we've nothing left for sale. If anybody is looking, we have absolutely nothing left for sale. So I've used 7 stems there, you know the way so far, just to give you an idea. And now some of the other stems, I'm just going to cut them a little bit shorter. Like again, I'm kind of cutting down in between them, like getting 2 or 3 pieces out of one stem. So that's say out of one stem of 3 little pieces. And then I'm going to like just dot it here and there through the arrangement. Not too much, because I also have some fabulous red roses. And you know when I'm using roses, I absolutely love the red Naomi roses, okay? So I'm going to use the red Naomi roses through it. Now I'm not going to use loads of them, because I find, again, if you buy a good quality rose, now I know you can go, I'm not knocking supermarkets, but you can go to the supermarkets and you can buy them short, little, miserable little heads, and they're grand, you know what I mean? They do the job. I often say to the students for practicing, they're fine. But if you want something that's going to last for ages, so I'm kind of hoping that this is going to last like 3 weeks, like I'm going to get up to the new year out of it. So by investing in a large headed rose, okay, so the red Naomi, what you'll find is it'll just dry out in the arrangement and it'll actually still look well. It won't look like a dead flower, it will actually dry out. And the colour of them, you know the way they're a really dark red, sorry if I went off the camera there for a second, like they're a really dark red, but they'll just dry out kind of like as a blacky kind of burgundy colour in the arrowment.
Somebody just wants to know, Janette, can the Ilex berry, can you use it outside?
Absolutely, yeah, you can absolutely use it outside. When we would have started doing the online video tutorials for our Christmas program, which is over now, by the way, right? But we would have started doing them arrangements probably end of September, beginning of October. That's when we were recording them. Even though the students didn't actually watch them till November, we would have been a month, 6 weeks ahead of them, and we were recording them, right? Now, only the rest of the house is in a state. I bring it out to the back garden because one of the arrangements I did was in these crates, these wooden crates. You may have seen the photographs of them, where I used 2 or 3 wooden crates. I had gold reindeers in them, and I had the Ilex berry, holly, ivy, pineapple flowers, if any of the students are watching. Hand on heart, that is still in my back garden. I brought it home. Now, if any of you have seen my back garden before, it's tiny, you know that way. It's more of a patio than a back garden. The court, as we call it, the courtyard. But that arrangement is still in my back garden. The spruce and the holly is absolutely perfect in it. The pineapple flowers are rotten. The poor reindeer is still out there.
It's going rusty.
He's going rusty, he is. And the Ilex berry is standing up nice and tall with bits of eucalyptus. And the eucalyptus I used was actually off my own eucalyptus tree, which is in the courtyard as well. I'm not going to show it. Maybe afterwards we might take a photograph of it.
Yeah.
But I'm not going to bring you through the house to see it because the rest of the house is in a state.
This is the Instagram part of the house.
You're only seeing this area here. You're not seeing the far wall. You know that way. So again, I'm just going to bring a rose kind of up there. Like
Somebody says an open fire burning candle surrounded by highly flammable branches and holly when dried, but their candles are not.
Don't be such a dry shite. It's Christmas. We're all after being in the lockdown. We've all been let out.
She obviously is not watching from the beginning. Their battery candles.
Go back into your box there, for God's sake. Lighten up there and enjoy yourself. Life is too short to be moaning there and looking for something to give out about. You don't rattle my cage on a Friday morning. But you're very, very welcome, you are. And so listen, why don't you join us now and let us know, give your full name there and where you're watching from. And what's the weather like? You know that way. What is the weather like in your part of the world?
Okay, Maura says, Happy Christmas to you both. Thanks
Hiya,
for
Maura.
all your demonstrations throughout the year. Great to hear the videos now, hear your voice now that I cannot get up to Dublin due to COVID.
Oh, that's brilliant. Thanks a million, Maura. You're very, very welcome.
You're getting lots of ha-has and lots of laughs.
Don't rattle my cage. I'm only messing. And that person, listen, like, not criticise, but like we'll take critique, we'll take feedback, but if you're wrong, we'll correct you. No idea.
That's right, absolutely. And it's a gas fire, so there's
it's a gas fire. There's actually no heat out this fire. I'm wearing me pleathers, like they're not leathers, they're pleathers, plastic leathers, you know that way. And I swear to God, there's no heat out this fire at all, you know that way. It's for decoration purposes
But
only.
in my house,
And
I
candles,
have...
they don't blow out. They're only battery candles.
In my house, I do have an open fire, and I do put a mantelpiece arrangement on it with the battery candles, and there is never a problem. Now, if it was real candles, it would be an issue.
Yeah, obviously you wouldn't be putting real candles, you know that way. Another thing that you could do, and I've done this last year, was we put the battery lights, you know the little fairy lights, you know the little fairy battery lights, and I put them through the arrangement as well. That was another thing that I did. We do still have them videos, don't we, Deirdre?
Of which?
Of, you know the other years when we did the live class?
Yeah, absolutely, yeah.
We do have them videos.
So we will share them back up, yeah.
Now obviously when you're listening to them, you know that way you'll be listening to other people saying hello and moaning and giving out and praising us and saying happy Christmas, you know that way. But you listen, it's good to learn, and it's completely different styles that I do every Christmas. What's this looking like so far?
Yeah, it's actually looking really well.
Is it
Just this left-hand side, you definitely need a rose.
Here?
Yeah, down low,
Absolutely.
yeah.
Down low or near the reindeer?
No, down low in the corner, bottom left. It's
Over
just,
here?
yeah, there,
Absolutely.
exactly, yeah.
There we go. The cop-on spot.
Cop-on spots.
Is any of the students watching looking for me cop-on spots? Probably do a little bit.
Any chance you'd put up a blue and white for Waterford? They're all set for All Ireland
Blue
Day.
and white for the Dubs. Listen up, do you not hear the accent? We are supporting Dublin out and out. And
But I think Waterford are playing in the hurling All Ireland
that's
final.
The Camogie.
Is it?
Was on the telly last night.
Was it?
The Camogie, is it? Am I right or am I wrong? But if it's the football, it's the Dubs that we'll be supporting. So up the Dubs. Any Mayo supporters watching?
Carol Shaw said this is looking amazing. Andrea's watching in from Surrey, and it's pissing rain. Have a wonderful Christmas. Thanks for the fun and all the
And you're going
information.
to have somebody moaning that you said this and Deirdre.
And Geraldine Kelly is on from Limerick, and she's loving your designs.
Thank you very much. Thank you.
Let me see. Thanks for such a laugh today. You're a tonic.
But you listen.
They're all afraid to talk now, Janette.
No, listen, you know me. Like, if you have something to say, say it. If I have something to say, I'll say it back to you as well. You know that way. But God
It's the
knows.
hurling ladies. Janette, Jesus, you were right. How did you know
I
that?
was on the telly last night, and they were videoing a school, and something like 4 past students and one of the teachers are actually on the same team, and all the kids were there dressed in their gear, and they were singing, and like all the kids were related to somebody or other out of the team. So that's
Okay, so they must be playing Limerick because somebody's saying up Limerick. Now we're really going to get into trouble. This is like talking about politics.
Top on spots there. Do you think I need one here?
I think, yeah, you probably could do one there. That's actually looking fab. Can you bring a rose up high out to the front a little bit? I can't see that rose there.
Okay. So kind of a little bit lower maybe?
Probably maybe to the outside.
Oh, the
sort
outside,
of, yeah.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Yes, boss.
Yeah, perfect. Yeah, that's it. Yeah.
Right. Probably have to come that one a little bit too short.
Beautiful, very classy from Estelle and Chester. Wow, this is stunning. Love from Galway.
Now you don't have to put as many roses into it that I'm putting in. I'm just going to stand back just so I can kind of have a little bit of a look at myself. I think right in the middle there I need a...
Caroline Kenny says you have a few cop-on spots.
Yeah, go on, shout them out there, Caroline. You know, if I can take the criticism,
Connie
And
says
then
it's
I don't want to
gorgeous.
overdo it with roses. You know what I mean? I think probably one here, and I think about one here. So again, if you see a cop-on spot, let's do it like 30 degrees northwest, 50 degrees southeast, whatever.
Katie O'Shea says fabulous. Thanks for all the
And the twins look great there. Don't
They
you
do.
tell you? Did we name these? Prancer and Dancer.
Prancer and Dancer,
Dancer
that's
there
it.
Our inner arrangements there. There's all our candles. burning away, going to set the arrangement on fire. Everything, I'd be happy enough with that.
Yeah.
So hopefully that's given you a few ideas how to decorate your mantelpiece. You don't have to put the roses and the Ilex berry through it, because again that is going to bring up the price. You know what I mean? You've seen it yourself with just the foliage. It was absolutely gorgeous. Whether it's foliage or forage from your own garden.
Somebody wants to know how much would it cost. It's stunning.
A lot of money. I haven't actually priced that, but you know what I mean? Like, say to get a florist to go into a house and to do it for you, you'd be talking a good few £100 there,
Yeah,
probably. You know
easy. And you know,
but we're not talking about money. Let's not get depressed this morning. You know, as I said, it's a fun-filled morning. Do you know that way? Money is no object. The sun is shining. It's not raining in Dublin for once. Well, not in our part of Dublin. It's not raining.
okay, Carol Shaw says again, thanks very much for all the videos.
Thank you,
She
Carol.
really enjoyed them, and happy Christmas. You're getting loads. Everyone is saying thanks a million. They're loving it. No, she meant a few cop-on spots for people, Caroline said, watching complaining about candles. You can't teach cop-on.
You can't teach cop on. There's no degree in Trinity.
Dolores says you could use artificial velvet roses, and
They would be
absolutely.
fabulous. Absolutely, that is a great idea. You know that way. Or as I said, Carol over on our Instagram page, I'm nearly sure that I could be wrong, but she had fabulous hydrangeas, you know the way, mixed in with her arrangements. And that's also, if you had, like, say, I'm saying burgundy wine, artificial hydrangeas, like some of the artificial that's out there at the moment, you'd swear they were real. I'm going to mention what's Joanna? No,
Joanna Caffrey.
Joanna Caffrey's shop. She's a couple of shops around. She sells artificial flowers, and oh my God, they're amazing. Some of the artificial in Brown Thomas, but that's not to say Dunn Stores, Home Focus, they also sell artificial, and they could be probably a lot cheaper, and they can look just as well.
Okay, yeah, that's it. Everyone fantastic.
Okay, so
Happy
listen,
Christmas,
we're going to,
COVID free.
leave it at that this morning. Huge thanks for everything.
Somebody just wants to know will they be able to watch it from the beginning? Yes.
Absolutely, of course you can. Once we finish here, we're going to put it up on, it'll be live on the Facebook page and on our IGTV on Instagram, and also it'll be on YouTube. So it'll be on all the channels. And like, again, if you go to our Facebook page, and if you click on the link that says videos, you'll be able to see all the videos that we have posted throughout the whole year. So every Friday at 11 o'clock, we always do a live class. Next Fridays, there will be a live class at 11 o'clock, but it won't be live. You'll see what I mean when you tune in next Friday. Remember, next Wednesday night, we're actually on Nationwide. Haven't got a clue. We've 6 minutes on Nationwide. So I don't know what clips they're going to show or what you're going to see. But listen, I'd love to support if you could join in. And we'll probably post it on the Facebook page, and maybe follow us on Twitter as well, at Case Flower School. And what else?
That's it.
That's
yeah.
it. Listen,
Happy
big
Christmas.
happy Christmas. You coming over to say happy Christmas to Deirdre? Deirdre has her Christmas t-shirt on and all today. She has. So big happy Christmas from us.
Happy Christmas.
Have a fabulous day. Listen, go out, get drunk, get merry, enjoy life. You know that way, as we say, we're only here for the. We're here for the good times. We're not here for the long time. So listen, bye bye everybody. See you then. Thanks a million for joining us. See you then. And don't forget to click share.